Hello everyone. As you all know, I have a lot of things that I have to take care of that I've put off, and I got court Thursday. I think that's one reason I'm not dealing with certain replies, comments as I usually would. Because of what I understand. That's why I usually try, I try not to be harsh on those who don't understand. But when they just, when they just reply out of their carnal understanding, out of their blindness, and attempt to correct a word that was spoken rightly, always twisting. I just, right now I'm probably not at my best because I'm not the perfect one. It's the word that I know that is the perfect one. And it's what's been done in me. And these never stop to realize that it's themselves. And there's a scripture, I wish I could remember what I spoke when something has said, that God does not work through, sinners. So, something like that, which you got to understand the meaning of these things. But, so when Ambrose, when you have sit there openly, you've denied, I could go back, if that's what I was going to do, I could go back to all that Ambrose has spoke against, not only myself, but others. But I'm just saying, when this work was being done in me, and I would see such as Ambrose commenting on other videos, like Anna's, and perhaps even Lively. I don't know if he ever did Lively. Just, because I understood what was being spoken, and Ambrose would come and comment, but I was not able to, I had to allow the work to finish in me, and it would just, just keeping silent. Here I would defend where I could, but even myself, Ambrose has spoke against me since the beginning of the opening of my mouth, and it's his own understanding that he comes against. He does not understand. Now this work happens in you, and at first it's a struggle to allow it, because the struggle is within yourself. Those things that you hold, that you still carry, I had those things in me. And it was the struggle in allowing the Spirit to work. But the Spirit working makes you stronger. And I've said it, and I've said it how many times. Some have just had a taste. But they don't understand that, they've had a taste of the truth and an understanding. But they don't understand their field. They have all this carnal. For every word in that Bible, there is a spiritual understanding to it. There's the carnal, but when you have understood the truth, everything becomes spiritual. Every word is seen in spirit. And it's the things that the carnal man has not had this washing. And they don't know. That's why you try to be patient. But, there's many that don't understand everything that even myself says. But they're not speaking against me, Ambrose. And the others who speak, they don't come speak against out of their own ignorance and blindness. You don't know how crazy it can drive you when you see one as yourself speaking through what you don't understand. And I'm not going to keep replying, and being so worried. I have a son up there, Ambrose, that I have because I know a work is being prepared in him. I know a work will be done through my son. Because I will be rewarded for what I have done. That I have allowed this work in me, and that I bring the word now. That I present the word that's been given. My son will not be forsaken. I have forsaken my whole life, and I'm not trying to boast in myself, but you have no understanding what that truly means. And the only reason I worry about going to jail is because I don't want to be away from here. I want to be able to do the work that has been done in me, I want to be able to use all that's been given to me. You know, actually jail would be a relief. I wouldn't have to worry about my store. I wouldn't have to worry about everything. Everything would be taken care of for me. I could just focus on the word and do what I could there. You know, but, you know, but knowing, it's seeing, you know, I can't do this anymore. I cannot contend with you and any of you that do this, because you're still blind. And, you know, my brother, I've wanted so many things to say for weeks, but there's just so much every day. And then when you have such as yourself, as Ambrose, you know, coming and speaking the things, you know, it just, and you're already troubled by the things that you have to deal with in life, you know. I don't know what you do every day, Ambrose, but I work. I have a lot of things to take care of. Things that I've let go. Now I have to, and because of what's been done to me, I am put in a position in my life that through everything that's been done in me, I have been given, you know, I have been given abundantly in spirit and in the world so that I can use it. You know, and you know, all this was done to me was a preparation. You have no idea what's been done in me. I can't put it into words, all that I see, Ambrose. And man, but see, I'm not, you know, but because of what I know, when someone speaks wrong, when a brethren, because I know they're at different levels. Some have, it's through that carnal understanding, not being understood. When these things become understood, then it turns to spirit. All that carnal is consumed by the spirit. Then you see through spirit eyes. But everywhere you hold carnal, you are blind to spirit. So when there's some at different levels and they're speaking, but they're not, yeah, that's where it is. Those who are not against us are on our part. When you blatantly speak against what you don't understand, you have proved over and over that you are against the truth, Ambrose. You are against the spirit because you wouldn't speak. You speak wrong and you don't know it. And you have been showed by not only myself, and you continue to not care. You continue to not realize you're the one that's blind. But, you know, it's these who have, it's not wrong to speak wrongly out of faith, you know, for a true heart that hasn't realized their error yet. But you are another story. It's a fine line, I guess, between the difference between, because it's what's coming from the heart. When the true one comes and speaks what through their understanding, through the portion they've received, they're not trying, you know, to speak against another. They're not, you know, they're coming innocent. If they're innocent through what? Because of what they don't understand. But you refuse. You have refused and deny, and you have rebuked the truth. There's a difference in what you do, and I've been patient with you, Ambrose. I have wanted, and I've seen you grow a little bit, but because you want your pride, you won't allow. You sit here and try to act like you puff up, like you are something special. You speak. You had a taste, Ambrose. You heard the call, but you haven't allowed the work. And now, because of what you're blind to, you speak against the very truth that you claim to uphold. And where I spoke earlier, how you have said your very words, what the Father's trying to show us through Nancy. The Father couldn't show anything if if the work hadn't been done in me. So make up your mind, you know, because your tongue is doubled towards me, Ambrose. I see the big picture. I know the work that's being done, and it's salvation. But what you don't understand, that's what you must be saved from. Your own darkness, your own blindness, Ambrose. So much of what man has seen through doctrine, that was just for a season. That was temporary. But when that is perfect, just come, the temporary is done away. That's what's been taking place in myself, Ambrose. That's what's taking place in others who are allowing. who are now hearing. I know what my work was to do, and I've done my work, and I am continuing to do my work. There was none to help. All I had was faith to get me through to where I'm at. Now those who are out there hearing and being strengthened in spirit, because they have helpers now. I was here to help the faith. I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to correct. That's why, everything you say falsely, I could rebuke everything with the right word. But and I've said it, you're ever going to continue in your blindness, in your pride. My boast is in what has been done to me. I have received the promise, Ambrose. Man hasn't understood what is true salvation, because it was through a process of time and a process of all things that it would come to be understood. And then God receives all the praise for what? Because it was never man. Because man, you have to understand what salvation was from. And I don't know which one's worse. You that continues in your blindness and speaking wrongly, or those who, because it's through carnal understanding. They'll receive a little of spirit, but they still have all that carnal filled up in them. Once you understand, that whole message becomes spirit. Everything you see becomes spirit, because it's purified from within you. Your eyes, your mind your heart had to be purified. That's the washing of the word. And every scripture becomes seen in spirit. It was a parable. It was all a parable. The whole working, yes, it was done through the Bible. But that don't mean, but there's other work. That's only part of the work was done. A great work was done through the Bible. But you got to look at how many translations. You got to consider the whole picture that's been done through it. You got to look at how many languages and how many translations in every language. But there's truth in other writings, and someone just for one to receive, there's some that can receive never having picked up the book. The Spirit don't have to work through a book, but there's been a great word through the book. There's it's all's made known through man's own mouth. Even when there's some great teachers who now they're silent to some of the things I speak. They won't come and comment because they're confounded. There's many confounded from what's being spoken today through myself and through the brethren. And I've heard, where I've seen a little, but I've heard how some are saying, like Brother Phil even said, well, he, because I don't look at it as much on here. I don't, even know the workings of YouTube as well as some, but Brother Phil had said he notices how the word is confounding those, because they're seeing the true speaking today. They're seeing the true life and true testimony being spoken through the brethren, and they're confounded because they can't understand what's being spoken. And I had hoped for you, Ambrose, and I know that there's what man don't understand. There's the whole working of salvation, but there's two things being done, and it's spoken through where the scripture, especially those who believe, the salvation will be saved, especially those who believe. And there's some saved by faith and some saved through faith. There's two things going on. There's a preservation and a salvation. It was all good. It was all salvation, how it's been worked. There's two light, the light that's within, that lights the man within, and then the light for those who are blind, the light that guides. Even myself was blind. But I don't understand certain things because I've always I knew that light. I recognized it. And that was the difference between, so what man showed me was I recognized, some of us recognized the difference. But all was done. It was just revealing to man what they did not know. And now what is given to me to see, is because it's all been purged out of me and is still continuing to be purged. It's just every scripture, every word is spirit. And when after all that carnal's been purged from you, you only have a certain measure, Ambrose, and all the rest, so you're only partly filled, not only partly seen, but you're blind here, and there's where you speak. And your wrong isn't in the blindness. Your wrong is speaking against what you do not understand. And then when I come and having where I've had to comment to you, I'm not, because if I thought it would mean anything, I would come and try to explain. But no matter what, that is not my job. My job is to speak the truth, to testify. And yes, that is my job. I have been ordained to speak these words. That's why they're given to me. And those who have the truth will hear. You only, the part of the truth that you hold, you bear witness to me speaking. It's the part that you don't have, Ambrose, that you deny. And I'm not going to continue to strive. I'm not doing it. So speak, and I'm done, And as soon as I can, I might even stop all my comments on this channel. I've even held back my speaking just to not seem proud, because even some of my brethren I know have not seen certain things by what they speak. So I hold back many things, but it's only until I'm strong enough and fully prepared to be able to speak. But I know that what my testimony's already done some good in some brethren out there who have been helped through the words that I speak, who have been strengthened and encouraged and found confirmation. And I've tried to strengthen you, Ambrose. But I'm not going to keep answering to you. And I do love you, and I do love all. Peace to you.